Hey guys, I wanted to address a real quick issue with this Rockpals portable generator. There's been some questions about how it works with CPAP, and it's actually a really good portable generator for the CPAP, or in this case, a BiPAP or an auto CPAP. The confusion lies, though, in the fact that when people say CPAP, they're encompassing all the different types of positive pressure devices. Modern day CPAPs typically are auto adjusting. Now you may have an older one, or you may have a true CPAP which uses a constant pressure throughout the entire night. But most people have one that auto adjusts, and that's where the confusion lies when people are saying it works or it doesn't work with a CPAP. When you have an auto adjusting one, it tailors the pressure to what you need at any given time during the night. And because of that, it actually uses less power than a constant CPAP or the older CPAPs. In this case, I have a DreamStation Go, and it's rated to, I believe, about 60, 70, 80 watts max. I don't know specifically what it is, but my pressure that I use on this one is 7 centimeters of pressure maximum. Now you may use more, you may use up to 15, 20. I believe this might go as high as 25. Most BiPAPs or auto CPAPs do, APAPs do go up to at least 20, some go up to 30. The reason I say all this is because it's very important for the power usage. When you have an auto one, when you have low pressure, it uses much less power than it uses at a higher pressure. Additionally, when you breathe out, you're not using any power. So approximately for half the night, every time you breathe out and you breathe in an equal number of times the night. So about half the night, your CPAP is using very little power. So if you're rated at a 55 watt or 60 watt CPAP, you're actually only using 30 watt hours instead of 60 watt hours. And that's important when we're talking about a battery, because what we have with this Rockpals is a 288 watt hour battery. Now, if you were at max and it was always at constant pressure, regardless of whether you're breathing in or breathing out, no, this absolutely would not last the whole night, because you would be using up quite a bit of power, probably almost 100 watts. So you would get 2 to 3 hours, maybe 4 hours out of this. But most people aren't at max pressure, and most people don't use a constant pressure CPAP. They use an APAP, like this DreamStation Go here. Because of that, I use, at 7 centimeters, I use about 50 watts per night. Actually a little less, but about 50 watt hours per night of power. Meaning this device will give me at least 3 nights of power. And when I say that 50 watts of power, that includes the heater and the humidifier. If I turn off the heater and humidifier, it will use substantially less, and I would be able to get at least a week out of this battery at my pressure. If your pressure is higher, of course your battery will not last as long. But in my case, and in many people's cases, you can absolutely use this wonderful Rockpals here. You can use it for your CPAP, and it will last you days. It will last you many, many days, especially if you're not using a humidifier and a heater. As I said though, I am using the humidifier and the heater, and my pressure is at 7, and this will last me easily 3 to 4 nights, if not longer. This unit is fantastic though. It's nice and compact, very small. As you can see, it's roughly about the same width as the DreamStation Go, and maybe half or twice as high. But what's fantastic about this particular unit here is it's got the integrated power brick back here, so you don't have to carry a spare power brick. You just plug it right in. It's perfect. It also has a 12 volt or 24 volt input for your solar in the back, which is fantastic, because it leaves the whole front free for whatever you want, which is also a great design, because you have your AC power here, which will power up to 600 watts on a surge, and I think 300 watts as a steady power draw. But we also have several USB ports, which are great. We have the 12 volt ports here. We have the 12 volt auto adapter, you know, with the cigarette lighter adapter. But what's really great about this one, and very few other portable battery generators have this, has a 24 volt output, which is absolutely fantastic, unlike the rest of them. So if you have 24 volt devices, such as your APAP, your CPAP, most of them are actually 24 volt, not 12 volt. They're 24 volt. You can output directly from here to your CPAP device. In my case, the DreamStation Go, Philips in their infinite wisdom decided not to allow DC power without a special adapter, which is fine. But when you are hooked up with DC power on the DreamStation Go, you can't use the humidifier or the heater, which is kind of ridiculous. It's disconnected inside. So you have to use the AC power if you want the humidifier, even though this unit clearly does not use enough power to be a problem. Anyway, that's all I have to say about this. Just want to let people know that this device works great for an APAP. You'll get several nights of usage out of it. Has all sorts of outputs. It has easy input right on the back. Charges great with solar. Everything about this is a fantastic unit, and don't hesitate to buy it if you're using it for a CPAP.